Barbarian. Class group. Warrior. Primary ability. Strength. Barbarians are warriors, defined by their connection to the primal forces of the multiverse, which manifests as rage. Far more than a mere emotion, and not limited to anger or fury, a barbarian's rage is an incarnation of a predator's ferocity, a storm's unrelenting assault, and the churning turmoil of the sea. Some barbarians...
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off for a second. Man, they really make it sound lame.
Well, I was reading it with all sorts of grandeur.
No, I know you're reading it to make it try and sound cool, but what I'm saying is, they really like this thing. I don't know. I kind of like the simplicity of like, man, this guy gets really mad and like hulks out. Like,
yeah, it's saying he's so angry. He's angrier than any other person.
I know they're adding a whole like because like there's more than just like Berserker Barbarian. But Berserker Barbarian is the one that they use in this thing. But my thing is like they have like the primal totems and like the spirit, spectral guardian or whatever. So I get it, but like, man, they really like an incarnation of a predator's ferocity. Come on.
Oh, okay.
This is a sex thing. This sounds like a sex thing.
I rage while I'm sexing to give myself advantage.
Male potency.
Slap me on the ass to keep my rage going.
Punch myself in the face.
No, you get the woman or man if you swing that way to slap you in the ass.
Hey, there can be women barbarians, okay?
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, you never seen the D&D movie?
I have not.
You need
I want to.
Female barbarian.
It's fun. Yeah, female barbarian. She's into short people.
she's got a weird thing for halflings.
Uh-oh.
Shotokan.
Halfling has a weird thing for barbarian women.
Yeah, makes sense.
That was genuinely fun.
That's consistent with halfling lore, probably. Hold up.
They just want someone to dominate them.
I think they're just freaks, and they just want some big crazy rage machine, you know?
Hold up. Design note. We're focusing in. Rage can now be extended with a bonus action each round. Taking damage doesn't extend it, comma. Yeah. All right, let's scroll past the table to get the second half of this box.
God. Yeah, okay.
But forcing someone to make a saving throw does. The focus is now on what you do, not what's done to you. Also, the playtest rage can last for 10 fucking minutes, and it's stopped by the incapacitated condition. Okay,
well, let's be honest. 10 minutes and 1 minute in combat doesn't make a difference. Like when does combat
no,
last
10 minutes is huge. Rounds. 10 minutes makes the one rage last throughout the whole dungeon.
It means that like also like if you need to like wail on the door and you can actually just like it takes more than a minute, you don't have to waste another rage.
Yeah,
fair enough.
10 minutes is just long enough to carry between two fights, or more fights if you're in a dungeon.
Well, they still have the same amount of rages.
Well, the rage lasts a lot longer.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I was just wondering if they maybe like you get one now.
Now that
you no
being
longer
said,
have unlimited at the end.
Yeah.
That being said,
it's replaced by a friend. Don't worry.
It's soaking up your bonus action every fucking round.
Well, here's the thing.
What else would they use it for?
Here's the thing. If you're not attacking someone in the first place, you're not using your bonus action anyway.
Well, no, I'm thinking about if in the middle of combat, there's a lot of like features and stuff which need your bonus action.
If you're attacking someone, it already propels your rage.
Oh.
Go if you read the actual rage part.
That part is still there.
That part's still the same. They're just saying they're just saying the change they made is getting attacked no longer does it.
Okay, so now it's just like if you're not attacking somebody, then you just spend a bonus action to keep yourself angry.
You can't
that means what you can do is you can still like dash to get up to someone, but you don't have to waste an action.
You're right.
Attacking something
you just you dash up and you bonus action extend the rage.
You can extend the range for another round by doing one or more of the following: make an attack roll against an enemy, force an enemy to make a saving throw, take a bonus action to extend the range. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, he said 1 second. Do we all stop here, or do we just keep
No,
going?
he's fine. Hit die's the same.
Yeah.
Hit points the same.
Yeah.
Saving throw is the same. Armor training the same. Yeah, that all looks the same.
Yeah.
All right. So level 1
They
rage.
get rage.
Okay, pause. It's weird that they don't just say physical damage.
Mhm.
Why isn't it physical in 5e?
Because
Someone might
want
say
the
fire is
words-
physical. It's just so dumb. Every time someone has resistance to physical damage, it's like bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. It's like 4 words for the price of 1.
Yeah, there's a handful of situations where something gets resistance to just like 1 or 2 of those, but
Yeah, but then
Like
in
the
those
net.
situations, it could just be parentheses bludgeoning only or some shit.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they don't. It's kind of stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, all right, so
So
you can
that's the
imbue yourself
same.
with rage. Bonus action as long as you aren't wearing heavy armor. Is that always in the game?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
they don't need
You
heavy
can
armor.
you cannot rage while in heavy armor.
Look,
You gain bonus to the damage.
I'm a
as
little
shown in the
disappointed.
rage damage.
I'm a little disappointed Barbarian still has rage. I feel like it's the wackiest feature.
What else would you give them?
I don't know, like damage? Here's the
That's
thing.
rages.
Rage is HP. Rage doubles your HP. It's
And
so
it gives you more
bonkers.
damage.
It gives you a little more damage, but the Barbarians
Plus
used to not have a
2
fighting
until
style.
9th level.
Fighting style gives like +2 damage. So it's really just, 2 times HP.
And they get 2 weapon masteries at level 1.
2 weapon masteries? What the fuck?
Strength advantage, no concentration spell. Okay, so rage is like basically the same, other than how you extend it.
Yeah.
Which I think is
And it lasts
fine.
10 minutes, which is a big
Unarmored
change.
defense is the same. Could barbarians always use shields?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
so that's the same.
Barbarians have light and medium armor proficiencies with shields.
Yep.
You get a mastery property of 2 kinds of simple or martial melee weapons of your choice. When you finish a long rest, you can practice weapon drills and change the kinds of melee weapons you chose. So that's like the same thing me and Torben were talking
Are you
about.
serious? That's so dumb.
I don't know. At least they give you a little bit of flavor, and the text is about how you're doing it, but it's still
Look.
kind of weird.
The thing that I would be able to tolerate very slightly is if it was like when you get an ASI, you can change 1 out. That would be still
Yeah,
dumb,
that's
but
fine.
less dumb.
You
I
can make
master
this when you level up.
all the weapons in the universe. I know how to use them all as a weapon master. It's not mastery.
When you reach levels
Foolishness.
class, you get the ability to use mastery.
Scroll up, por favor. Oh,
You
great.
gain
Pixely, 1 sec. It's got a resolve on my screen. There we go.
primal knowledge.
You gain proficiency in a skill of your choice from the list below. In addition, while your rage is active, you can channel primal power. When you attempt certain tasks, whenever you make an ability check using one of the following skills, you can make it as a strength check, even if it normally uses a different ability.
By the way, yes, you can
Stealth?
strength stealth.
Strength perception?
Well, because you're
That's-
so angry
That's retarded.
that you just become capable of superhuman
Yeah,
feats that
they
you-
made rage dumb.
Look, I could
I think
maybe
that's
understand acrobatics, right?
I can understand
Intimidation.
intimidation.
Intimidation should just be
I
an
can understand.
intimidation.
I can understand acrobatics, intimidation, and survival. Perception and stealth make no fucking sense.
Let me ask you this: when do you make survival checks while raging?
In
Like,
combat
when does that
while
just
raging?
come up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, clearly the barbarian sees everyone's looking for fucking tracks, rages, and then begins looking.
He gets so angry that he just finds the track.
Yeah, exactly. That's the out of combat use of your 1 of 2 rages that day. I mean, I kind of get what they're going for. If it was like
Your
Constitution,
strength
maybe.
represents primal power coursing through and around you.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a druid thing, where you're just calling on some sort of like innate like primal
Magic.
instinct.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you have to waste a fucking rage, which is a
You do
very
have to
limited
waste the rage.
resource.
Not really ragey if you're like looking for tracks.
At that point, they should just rename rage to like primal tap or something like that.
Primal energy.
Primal instinct.
Yeah, there you go. Great name. Thank you.
Primal juicer. Then there's reckless attack, which looks identical.
It's exactly the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a subclass, which
Attack, yeah,
feet, it's still normal. Extra attack, still normal. Fast movement, same as it was before. Kind of weird that they get it at level 5, but also like, doesn't really matter.
It's because 6 has been replaced by subclass features in every class.
No, it was level 5 before. It's just it's always weird to me, but because all like classes are super front loaded.
I don't know. You're playing a barbarian right now, shouldn't you know, Kyle?
I made him fucking months ago, dude.
And he was started at level 6.
For instance, showing the advantage on initiative rolls and dexterity. Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they got rid of the if you're surprised at the beginning of combat, you can act normally as long as you rage. That was a line of text in Feral Instinct. They got rid of that.
That's kind of weird.
I kind of like that feature.
Yeah, it's a cool feature.
Represented your like primal, just like awareness, almost like a bestial like.
Oh, hold up.
Instinct sense kind of thing.
They got rid of the danger sense and wrapped in Feral Instinct as well. It used to be at level 2 that you could get advantage on the dex saves. Now it's level 7. Yeah. And there's no stipulation about dex saves that you can't see, which, to be fair, there's almost 0 dex saves you can't see. Unless you're blinded. I guess. Yeah, it's like the
9th level feature. They replaced their. They took the 9th level feature and replaced it with what used to be the 18th level feature. By the way, which is very fucking strong.
They got rid of. They moved brutal critical to 11th level, and they put Indomitable Might at 9th.
It's too strong.
Check is less.
They had to move it even further back.
Yeah, imagine this. Imagine this. Rock could never roll less than 20 for a strength check.
That's awesome.
That's true. It wouldn't have helped you in the pit, but it is very powerful.
I think that at 9th level's fine. Yeah. I think being able to get advantage on dex saves, even if you can't see it, is fine, because the idea is it's like a spider sense.
Yeah, it's spider sense. Yeah, that's fine with me.
But not getting it at 2nd level is a little annoying.
Yeah.
And instead you get primal knowledge, which
here's the thing.
Weird.
Barbarian is super duper front loaded. Like anyone marshaling, like you could just take a level or 2 in Barbarian and you're like, ooh, I've got twice as much HP and I've got dex save proficiency effectively, and also
taking 2 levels in Barbarian just for Totem Bear or whatever is so stupid.
3 levels?
3 levels.
Yeah, well, it's not just Totem Bear, it's the normal rage, that's
rage
bonus
and
damage.
Reckless attack,
and the dex save thing. Dex save thing is extraordinarily powerful.
Dex save makes the multi. It wasn't front loaded. I'm fine with that. Let me look at brutal critical. Did they fix it? When you score critical hit using strength, the target takes an extra damage equal to your barbarian level.
Oh, that's different.
That is different.
Holy shit!
That's plus 11 damage.
Yeah.
Or if you're 20, that'll extra 20 damage.
Okay, that actually makes going further into Barbarian good, because it used to be that like once you got to a certain point, staying in Barbarian at high levels just felt bad, because all you were doing was getting an extra die 5% of the time, and it's like, who cares?
Well, 10% of the time. I mean, okay, if we're like being
making 2 attacks per round,
autists, like it's like 10% of attacks, you're getting extra 11 damage at that level, so it's effectively like plus 1 damage on all attacks. But still, it probably feels very good to a ginormous crit. It will come in handy when it comes in handy.
Also, just imagine, I'm just putting this in perspective. Imagine Rock at 11th level with his insane ass fucking shit.
Yeah.
He just does 11 more damage.
And then you're tacking on an additional 11 damage on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, his weapon is insane to begin with, though.
True.
Should have been D10s. That is foolishness. I let it through, so it's stuck there.
To be fair, you can change it to D10s tomorrow, and it still will be retarded.
It would be, but it'd be slightly less so.
It's less retarded.
It's minus 2 damage per a successful attack.
Persistent Rage is okay.
Rage still ends if you have it. Okay, so that's the same.
It saves your bonus actions.
Yeah, that's fun.
If you drop to 0 hit points, so your rage is active, don't outright. DC 10 con save.
Wait, was that always while raging?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just the same feature. It's slightly
no,
shifted.
It used to be 1 hit point. Now it's twice your barbarian level in hit points.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's freakishly good.
Also,
because that's 30 HP.
Yeah, that's the only thing that changes.
Yeah, so you come back with 30 HP, and the reason they put that there is basically they
So you don't
talk
get
about it in the
pinged.
gray box is basically so you don't just immediately go back down.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is you're raging, you're taking half damage, but when you're at 1 HP, it doesn't matter. The next plink of damage puts you back down.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it, but I think it's also kind of silly because you're effectively at 60 HP against physical
I feel like it was already pretty good, but I guess I could see situations where it ends up not mattering because
Well,
there's
once
just so many
again,
attacks coming
I don't
in.
know.
It's giving you more reason to play a barbarian than a
At
fighter.
high level,
Because high-level barbarians
suck.
fell off compared to fighters. Now
that true?
high-level barbarians are just, I don't want to die.
Just infinitely tanky.
Yeah, like
Okay.
because I feel like they were getting, because like even in high level play, high optimized play, the barbarian is outclassed by the druid in tankiness. It's outclassed by the fighter and the paladin in damage. Your AC is less than everybody, but your benefit now is your health pool, and then if you do go down, you pop back up.
I'm a fan of buffing late level barbarian because high level
Yeah, that's
barbarian
fair.
suck.
Though high level druids suck total dick as well.
Until they hit 20, but yeah.
From what I've heard, they're wild shape falls
High level
off.
druids in general, just
At
have
level 20, they have
large amount of
infinite
hit
health
points.
almost.
Okay. Well, I'll
It's
take
not
your word
quite
for it.
infinite health, but it's like
Even like
infinite wild shapes is sort of the same.
even a moderate, like a high level druid, they have like what 5 or 6 wild shapes in their long rest.
I have no idea. I
You
think
can turn it-
I
you
think
can-
they max at 5.
You can turn into a bear no matter what late level, which has like what 60 HP, and you can turn into a bear fucking 5 times.
Yeah, bear's got 11
Your
AC,
hit point
though.
pool is large.
But you turn into a mammoth, right? Or can only
I mean,
only
it depends.
moon druid
I think
do
the circle of the moon can get faster. I just don't know how much escalated they are scaling wise.
So their 17th level feature is new. That wasn't an old feature they changed. That's just
Correct.
completely new. Whenever you roll initiative, you regain 1 expended use of your rage.
This
That's to
this
compensate
is-
for the lack of endless rage, right?
Yeah, at level 20, they used to get unlimited rages. Since they no longer get that at level 20,
No, when did they get infinite rages? What are you talking about?
and I can tell you right now, I'll pull up.
Because at
At
level
some-
20,
at
they
level-
did not get infinite rages.
It's like level 19 or 18 or something.
I'm looking at it right now.
At
and I
level
don't see it.
20, barbarians have unlimited rages
Oh, yeah, it says in the chart. It's not like a feature, right?
on the chart.
Oh, it's not a feature.
Yeah.
It's just on the chart. Like,
Oh, it's on the chart. That's why I missed it. Okay.
Oh, it used to be in the chart.
But
it's
now-
not
So
on
that
the
makes up
chart.
for that. They moved their capstone to 18 because that's what they've been doing with
and they made it weaker.
classes. And they made it weaker because
Yeah.
it's moved to 18, which...
Yeah. Okay, I
Well,
think...
no, but then at 20th level, you get to increase 1 by 2 anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you get an epic boom. So, like, it's at the end of the day, it kind of evens out.
Yeah.
Correct. I will say, if you have like 6 rages a day, which they do eventually get, you basically have unlimited rages per day.
Yeah, I've never seen someone...
That's
Since
so
I'm
many
for a
fucking
barbarian.
rages.
But what it now allows you to is it allows you to rage outside of combat to try and utilize the primal knowledge aspect of
To
it.
try to, I'm survivaling. Oh!
Well, it's like, if you have to be sneaky, if you have to be sneaky, you burn your rage and you can stealth. You can stealth with the rogue and like
Smell?
I like the idea of the barbarian like seething silently as they're slinking around.
I mean, all I'm saying is Rock does have stealth proficiency.
That's true. Yeah, you know
He
what?
does? That's awesome.
Barbarians are not bad at stealth. This makes them better at stealth too, inside a dungeon. Now, this
That's kinda
assumes the sort of like default module dungeon thing where not everyone in the dungeon is alerted when like one squad goes down, which I don't think happens much. But still.
I think the flavor for the primal knowledge is a little goofy, but I like it.
It's useful. It's goofy. but it's useful. Because the rage lasts 10 minutes, so you do the first fight, and then you keep the rage going, and you fucking stealth over and over. It makes them kind of like a rogue, almost. A little bit. Not as good as the rogue, but like, you know.
At 20th level, you can pick strength or con, it increases by 2, and its maximum's 30. And then, so now you have 3/4 of old Primal Champion, basically. And then you get the epic boon of Irresistible Offense or another. So you just pick any one. Irresistible Offense is like the recommended one, I guess.
I'm going to be right back.
That's in this document.
It's in the feats right above this, yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. I'll wait for it.
It's pretty good.
What is it?
Oh, and then you can increase strength or dex by... Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely think the Barbarian's in a better place, and now going straight Barbarian makes a lot more sense. One thing I will say about just in general, the epic boons at level 20 will definitely disincentivize a lot of multi-classing.
What do you mean?
Because, like, if you're going to play a campaign through level 20...
There are some classes where, like, it's not worth getting a 20, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like, most classes... capstone ability isn't that good. Like the monk.
The monk sucks.
The rogue. The bard is
What's the rogue's capstone?
All right. If you miss an attack once per day, you can just make it hit.
No, that's not it. There's no way it's that bad.
It might be proficiency bonus. You can make it hit.
Let me see.
It's called Stroke of Luck.
Stroke of Luck.
You have
an uncanny accuracy when if your attack misses a target within range, you can turn the miss into a hit. Alternatively, if you fail an ability check, you can treat the D20 rolls a 20. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. That's horrible.
Yeah, so one for short rest, you can just make him miss a hit or definitely pass the check.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
No, we were just talking about how the epic boons at level 20 disincentivize multi-classing.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Sticking out your class.
Here's the thing. Like 1% of campaigns gets level 20.
No, but what I'm saying though, like even if you're like hypothetically like playing a campaign through 20, it's going to make it more reasonable that you will stick with the class you start with.
Yeah, it buffs that.
If that's your goal.
Yeah, because Kylo just pointed out that the rogue capstone is awful.
The monk capstone.
The monk capstone's like got to be the worst one.
It's pretty bad.
This one isn't too bad, but no, yeah, even the bard one. The bard one's terrible. At 20th level, when you roll initiative with no bard uses a bardic inspiration, you get 1.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the monk, but like still bad. And then yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think capstone abilities are even worth thinking or talking about because
I think they are.
Like 90% of games, I don't think get to level 15.
But we're not evaluating this change in terms of like how many people it'll affect. We're just evaluating the change like by itself. Like, is that a good change?
Sure. I guess. I find it very hard to care about it because it's like written in the book, never used. It's like that kind of content.
I don't know.
It can get used. It will get used by people.
Here's my thing. We have a campaign that we just finished at 15th level.
Eventually, we will go back and we will get to 20. Yeah.
Like we've even talked about like going out and like getting them to 20 or doing something potentially with those characters.
And if Kyle hadn't wanted to DM, we probably just would have kept playing with those characters. Maybe taking a short break.
Yeah, we probably would have done something else.
Huh?
But we have other, we have other plans of when this campaign's over that I'm DMing, we'll do something else and potentially in that world doing other things like that.
Yeah, makes sense to me. So,
I mean,
I've never encountered high-level play.
One campaign might not make it to 20, but you can always come back. You can always,
I will not disagree that most people will never play at 20, but I don't think that's relevant at all. Because we're not we're just talking about like this change. You know what I mean?
Sure. If we're comparing a level 20 feature to a level 20 feature, that's true.
Yeah, that's what
I just think it's worth keeping in mind whenever you see like high level features that the further down the page, the like less encountered it is.
Yeah. Now, I would like to mention, because it says you get to pick an epic boon, and the recommended one is the boon of irresistible offense. So I'd like to just read that for like 2 seconds. You can increase strength or dex by 1 to a maximum of 30. So basically, you get like 7/8 of your primal champion from like the old one, plus more stuff. You get overcome defenses, which is bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage you deal. Always ignores resistance. That's horrible because if you don't have a magic weapon at level 20, what the hell happened?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
And there's like
it'd be one instance. Just saying, very good against Torbstone golems.
That's true because I have them resist.
You have them resist magical.
Yeah, because it's more like 3 where it's like that you need adamantine weapons.
Yeah, but like as written, I can only think of one stat block that resists magic weapons. In 5th edition, obviously, yeah, older editions had
crazy shit.
3 it also had to be bludgeoning too.
Yeah, the material your weapon was made out of actually mattered instead of just getting a magic anything and then it overcame everything.
Yep,
which
that's a 2E.
Kind of lame. And then overwhelming strike, when you roll a 20 on a d20 for an attack roll, you can deal extra damage to the target equal to the ability score increased by this feat. The extra damage is type is the same as the attack.
27 extra damage, are you saying?
Yes.
That's nuts.
Rolling that 20, you can just add your like 22 or 20.
On top of that, if a barbarian has a critical hit, they also do their level damage.
Dude.
So that means you're doing 45 damage on top of dice rolled minimum.
Hold on, let me pull my monster manual. That sounds like
you're dealing plus 45. Whatever you crit. But you're a level 20th barbarian, so it's like
I mean, when you're critting, you're just like, okay, I'm not only rolling say 2d12 plus 5 or plus probably 6 or 7 because you have 24 strength, right?
Yeah,
you probably have 25 because if you do strength both times and for the feat, you'd have a 25 strength, right?
Yeah, so you have 25 strength. So you're doing plus 7. So you're going to do 2d12 plus 7 plus 45.
So plus 52.
Yeah, so 2d12 plus 52.
Wait, what's dealing 2d12?
The weapon itself.
Your weapon's hand is a battle axe, which is 1d12.
Yeah, that's 2. Because crit.
Oh, because it's a crit. That's right.
Yep.
I kind of forgot about the doubling dice because it's so inconsequential when compared to the plus 50.
So I think it's one of those things where if you're a barbarian, you don't necessarily need the biggest weapon anymore because you're going to be fucking doing if you do crit.
But like you do have to pick this epic boon against a bunch of other really, really good epic boons.
Yeah,
so
but, if you want to do damage, but also this is how you equalize your damage because you're already resilient as fuck.
Yeah, but like yeah, that's true because like energy resistance doesn't really help you. And well, no, I guess it would.
Depending on
that
type.
Could be fun.
Barbarian.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they get rid of Bear Totem, but I hope they rework that. I'm sure they will.
Probably.
I guess we can look at the Berserker subclass they changed.
Yeah, let's see.
Yep.
So the changes. Frenzy no longer causes you to gain a level of exhaustion. In addition, it causes you to deal extra damage each round that you use Reckless Attack, instead of giving you a bonus action attack, which conflicts with Rage's use as a bonus action. That's not true. Well, I mean, that is true, on the first turn.
Well, no, but now you might be using your bonus action to extend your Rage if you're not making attacks.
Yeah, but if you're not making attacks, then
it doesn't matter, I guess.
But on the first turn, it makes the first turn smoother, which is good.
Yeah.
Because that was a big, like, annoying thing with Frenzy.
I think, look, a soft Frenzy nerf is a positive thing in my eyes because it's like, it's kind of like how Moon Druid, like, dominates super duper early and then it, like, falls off. I feel like the same is true of Frenzy.
I feel like Frenzy's the worst subclass for Barbarian.
Yeah, but at level 3, it's the best subclass.
You no longer get exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's now just a damage buff.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's actually, like, usable. Because taking a point of exhaustion is just, like...
Dude, an extra attack every single round is fucking an incredible boon. Look, Rock's not the first Frenzy Barbarian I've had. They punch way above their weight class relative to other classes.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because they get an extra attack before everyone else.
Yeah, at level 3, that stacks with extra attack, too.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very powerful.
The problem with it is the exhaustion that it adds that cripples your character after you use it.
Yeah, but
obviously
5-minute adventuring days
exhaustion is a lot different.
Yeah, but raw exhaustion, you just have disadvantage on every
ability checks.
Yeah,
until you sleep.
Again, then it's.
But like Rock literally survived last session because of his ability checks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like you can't say ability checks like don't matter, especially in a dungeon, because like we've had to make so many checks to like shimmy and get through encounters.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing. In the dungeon, you're correct, because the dungeon's a very specific environment where you're encountering more than one thing per day. I think in most campaigns, it's like the 5-minute adventuring day. You get in one fight, and that makes the Nova potential better. In the case,
it's called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So like, if dungeons aren't normal, that's an outlier, not like a regular thing.
Maybe.
Like I think saying, "Oh, this matters in a dungeon environment," and I'm then saying, "Well, but dungeons don't come up that often." I don't think that's.
I don't think they.
I don't know. I think saying it's bad in a dungeon environment means that it's just bad in this game that has dungeons in the title.
I think you're overrepresenting dungeons. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's situations where it's bad, but you can always just take a long rest, right? Or not like always. In a dungeon, you leave the dungeon, you sleep, you come back.
Yeah, fair enough. But then, you have the issue of traps getting reset.
Okay, but like, I will hand it to you, Frenzy does have some disadvantages, but it also has the advantage of Nova potential. Many games, you get in one fight, like you get attacked on the road or whatever. Every time that one fight happens, there's no reason for Barb not to Frenzy Reach. And then they've got like extra multi-attack.
Unless you're not on a road and you're relying on survival checks to find your way there, and the Barbarian is the only survival guy.
Yeah, and they're
you
primal
don't have a ranger or druid or something.
Yeah. I guess, but you could just sleep in that one spot and then.
Yeah, but then you waste time.
Sure, time's like a infinite resource.
It's unless it's not.
Unless it's not, but I'm just saying in a traditional game of D&D, you have wilderness travel, you have dungeons, you have time constraints. Like, a lot of people don't do that, and I think the 5th edition DMG does a bad job at teaching new DMs how to incorporate these things in there, but just like the traditional D&D adventure would have all of this.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll put one more argument for it. The Barbarian, here's what it's like incentivizing. Here's what I'm picturing, right? The party's going through the dungeon, they encounter a big fight, they know it's probably going to be their last fight that day. The Barbarian will always Frenzy Rage at that point. Because they're going to get the level of exhaustion, everyone's going to retreat anyway because they're beat the fuck up, they sleep, they're back to full.
As someone who's played a Frenzy Barbarian, playing one currently.
Yeah.
I have been strategically only been using one Frenzy per day.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we aren't just having one encounter per day. We're having, we went down and we're doing 2 or 3 sometimes.
Yeah.
It is having to strategically use, all right, is this where I need to do it? And then when I see an overwhelming number, that's when I break it out. But
yeah, that's the strategy of it. I'm not saying there's no downside. I'm saying there's often very little downside. That's not like super crippling.
I just think we're in a situation where we're with an army that has an outpost that we can retreat and fall back to, that we can sleep.
Yeah, we long resting in the dungeon.
In a normal campaign where it's just the 4 of you dipshits in a cave, it's a lot harder to just long rest in a dungeon because the enemies can always be on alert. There will always be more enemies than you. Chasing
you and stuff like that. That is true.
So you don't necessarily get that benefit. Like, for instance, I'm going to bring an example from our last campaign. We were at a castle that was also the lair of an ancient green dragon.
Yeah.
We couldn't just take a nap, or else the dragon would show up and fuck our shit up. or we were in a part of the dungeon that was covered in like poisonous fog, so we couldn't just lay down. And so I mean, when you're not necessarily on a time crunch, but you can't just waste 8 hours because there's an intelligent creature lurking behind every door at that point.
Sure. There's a downside in the situations you are laying out. I agree with that. It's not a free feature. It is a very potent feature. At level 5, you're attacking as much as a level 11 fighter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is an action economy, there is a sort of action economy, toll. You are literally using all your action economy to attack. But yes.
Yeah. Does the Barbarian do other things than that, usually?
They can. I mean, once again, I'm playing a very straightforward
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What does my brain is melting. We got on such a fucking tangent.
If you use Reckless Attack while your rage is active, you deal extra damage to the first target you hit on your turn with a strength-based attack. To determine the extra damage, roll a number of d6s equal to your rage damage bonus. So that's 2d6 at level 1.
Okay.
And add them together. The damage is the same type as the weapon.
So that's really good, but not as much as the extra attack, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Until
you're basically doing the damage of an extra attack.
I mean, no modifier.
No modifier. It's very big.
But
no modifier, no rage damage bonus.
At level 3, it's taking away 4 damage.
No, it's taking away 5 damage. 3 from your strength, assuming you have 16 strength, and 2 from the rage attack itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So it's less damage, but you don't have to take exhaustion.
Yep, and you don't have to use your bonus action. I like this change. It's still powerful, but it's less crazy.
You have immunity to charmed and frightened conditions like rage is active. If you're charmed or frightened when you enter your rage, the condition ends on you. That's the same.
Yeah.
The exact same.
No, it's not the same.
Exact same.
The 6th one used to suspend it. This change is kind of wild.
What do you mean?
And
it would suspend it instead of end it. That's right. You're right.
Yeah. So the Barbarian can rage and then end the Gias spell on themselves, basically. Which is kind of silly.
Just don't target the Barbarian with Gias, idiot.
That is a little goofy.
Or the Vampire's fucking gaze and stuff. It just makes that feature shittier on a bunch of monsters, which is whatever. So it's a very useful feature. A little bit silly, but it is a 6th level feature. Spell Magic's 3rd level spell. But it's definitely a huge change.
Yeah. Yeah, mainly, yeah.
I mean, the Vampire couldn't charm you if you're raging anyways, but still. Okay. Was Retaliation in the original Frenzy Barb?
No. Yeah, at 14th level.
Oh, Jesus, okay. Because it sounded familiar, but I didn't know that they shifted it up that far.
One melee attack against that creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same. It's just got moved up.
It's a good feature. It's an extra attack every round, basically.
It's weird that it's specifically within 5 feet. So if you're like a reach weapon barbarian.
Yeah, fuck the reach barbarian. I approve of this.
Then intimidating presence has been improved, but moved up to 14th level. Because it used to be single target, and it used to scale with charisma.
But now it's strength.
Now it's strength, and it's each creature of your choice within 30 feet, or 60 feet if your rage is active.
Damn.
So it's a lot better. It was. It used to be really poopy.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. It being like strength and not charisma. There's a lot of blending of stats.
No, here's the thing. It makes sense because, you're not using your fucking natural charm to intimidate someone. You're using your goddamn big bulging muscles.
Yeah, it's big screaming.
And the fact that you're beating the fact that you can easily crush their fucking head in your hands. It never made sense that like a barbarian who has no incentivization to put charisma in their build other than one fucking 12th to 14th level feature.
I mean, that's true. I just think it's blending of the stats. Stats are very blended in 5e.
But intimidation already has a rule in the PHB that you can substitute.
Well, this isn't intimidation. This is like a frightening presence.
It's literally called intimidating presence.
It's like a dragon's presence, though.
Yeah, it's a frightening. I would say being intimidated and being frightened are like similar enough.
Sure. This is more me thinking about how the primal instinct is also using it too, for primal knowledge or whatever. And so this is like another feature that's like just build strength. Just build strength. Right.
I mean, I'm fine with single ability score like dependent classes.
Yeah.
It's better than like 3 fucking.
I mean, to be fair, they're not. You're not just. To be fair, you just.
You're getting con and dex too.
It's still a multi-ability score.
You still need 3 scores to make a like. Because if you dump dex as a barbarian, your AC is maximum 15.
That's true.
Yeah.
Until you reach 20th, like 18th and 20th level.
Yeah.
So I mean, you need dex.
And you need con, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma are definitely like tertiary stats that are pluses to have. But I think I've shown that you can make an effective character by having no stat other than strength, dex, and con over 10.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan. Not a fan of the blending. That's all. Like, I get it makes sense. The barbarian needs a bunch of stats, so they're kind of sucking at ability checks, but that's like the downside.
I mean, I think flavor-wise and like narrative-wise, like I think it makes sense. I don't think there's anything like inconsistent with using
the primal. And for the primal knowledge, it's like while you're raging, you have heightened senses. So like you're using that primal urge, that primal that base strength to enhance.
It's like a danger. It's sort of like tied into the danger sense or like feral instinct thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a innate like animalistic instinct.
Yeah.
I mean, it scales with how big you are. That one's a little goofy. I'm not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about intimidating presence. I think that flavor makes sense.
The intimidating presence makes sense, kind of, yes. The primal one...
Yeah, the primal one's weird.
Also sort of makes sense. It would make more sense if it was like...
My thing is, Rock's not intimidating anybody with his words. Rock's intimidating people by his 6 foot fucking whatever friend.
Yeah, that part's true. That part's true.
Giant sword in the face.
I was complaining about them being lumped together. But you're right, it's a different feature.
Re-fucking entering the
Totally
atmosphere.
different feature. I also misread that you're using strength for stealth earlier. I thought that was...
No, you are.
Yeah, I said I misread that. I didn't see that part earlier.
Yeah, you just see the silently and you're better at sneaking. That one's weird. That one's really weird.
It's a little weird.
I like to interpret that someone sees you and you just go, "You don't fucking see me."
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like the perception one because it's like you've heard of the phrase "blinded by rage," but this is like my third eye has been opened by rage.
Yeah, I'm so angry.
Yeah, that is wacky.
My senses are opened.
There's like an equivalent rage feature in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. And what it does is... We don't have to get into the specifics. Its downside is that you can't like use potions or read scrolls because you're raging and you're like tunnel visioning on killing stuff.
Yeah, like barbarians can't cast spells while raging.
Yeah. So, that was just supporting the perception thing being weird.
I mean, I guess you can view it as like an adrenaline surge, where like you just get so like caught up in the moment that you just become capable of like
anything,
feats you weren't
everything
able. Yeah,
everything uses your strength.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm really, I can't like that. It's a lot like best body sense. Like you, like while you're raging, you're just more acutely aware of the world around you. And
yeah, I feel like if they changed the name of rage to something else, it would like make more sense.
If it was called primal instinct, it would make a lot more sense.
I'm kind of surprised that they kept it rage,
or like even like adrenaline surge or something like that.
Yeah,
would make more sense.
Like
I'm surprised they kept the name Rage.
Or like Feral Instinct.
Yeah, maybe.
It still has
Well,
like that primal
Instinct
like.
is already a class feature.
Yeah,
Is it?
that's right. Yeah.
That's why it sounded good because I'm like that sounded really good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's literally the one that we no, yeah, it's literally.
Okay, another thing I will state. It does make the Barbarian slightly skill monkey in the dungeon itself. Not outside the dungeon because time constraints, right? So that's also a thing to consider.
Yeah, it makes you a skill monkey, but you'll never be as good as the rogue, the ranger, or the artificer.
That's true, but you'll have 3 times their HP.
But I mean, if you,
You won't have 3 times their utility.
Yeah, like
True.
Sure, yeah, I can rage and I can stealth and I can go with you, but the rogue's gonna roll a 28 stealth check and I'm gonna roll like a 21. Like,
and every time you stealth, you're using a very limited resource. The rogue can stealth and pick locks all day.
it's if the rogue is incapacitated or low health, you can step in and be like, I can do this if we absolutely have to.
I am perfectly okay with marshals getting more utility.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but they're overlapping a bunch. I just think it's a lot of utility in the class. It is a big buff. I'm just highlighting that.
I don't know. I just hate how a lot of classes are only good in combat, and then the second there's like any puzzle or roleplay
like,
opportunity,
no,
they can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way: the barbarian is now a useful member of the team, not just in the
When they're not
fucking
punching things in the
hour of combat precision.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
curious what the fighter's going to get. And I'm very curious what the
Why
monk's
don't we
gonna
find
get.
out?
We're almost
Fighter
there.
is next.
I remember
I will
hearing
say-
a conversation where it's like, "Ooh, the monk gets all these things. That's why they should suck." This barbarian does not suck, and they are plenty powerful.
I will say
And they have utility.
We have been at this 2 hours. Do we want to maybe stop and do the rest another session?
We could.
Yeah, I gotta